Hey friends, today we are going to work on a challenge, a global design project challenge. You can find all the details on my website at www.blueberrycanary.com. I didn't do that too well, right? And it's global design project. So every week they post a different challenge. This one is number GDP 541. And the challenge this week is to use 3 colors: cloud cover, which is this little grayish blue, and then timid tiger, which is a fun little orange, and daffodil delight, which, you guessed it, is yellow. And so I'm going to use a couple of products that I've been excited to get into. We're going to use 2 sets. The Cutest Crew. So let's see, stamps, our Cutest Crew. And we're going to use this one with the 3 little birds. And we're going to use Have the Best Day. And we're going to use the little bird feet here. And then from the die set, from the Cutest Crew dies, I'm going to use this one that will coordinate with the stamp with the 3 birds on it. And I'm going to use this one that's got like just a little pattern in it. And then I'm also going to use dies from the Swirl Design. And I'm going to use this shape that I think looks a little bit like a bird nest. So we're going to use that one. Okay, so we're going to have a card base. So let's say measurements. And this is just a white card base that is 5.5 by, oh, I did that wrong. It is, yes, it's 5.5. Now I'm confused. By 8.5. Folded in half. All right, and then we're going to have a layer that is cloud cover. And this one is cloud cover. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to say I cut the nest shape out of this layer. All right, so I used the little die and I just cut that out. So I have the nest shape. And then our next layer is Timid Tiger. And this one is, I'm doing the dimensions wrong here. Let's see. This one is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And so when you layer these, you're going to get a 1/16 inch white border, and then an 1/8 inch cloud cover border. So it'll layer like that. Now I have a piece of patterned paper. This has Timid Tiger on it. So this is 3 7/8 patterned by 1 1/4. Okay, so that's gonna go on our orange layer. Then I cut two Daffodil Delight strips using die. Okay, so I cut 2 of these, and they're just the length of the die. We'll cut them down to match. Now I have a piece of white that I die cut the 3 little birds out of. Cut white shape for 3 bird stamp. Okay, now I think we're ready to put this together. Oh wait, one more thing. And then I cut 3 little birds in different colors. So those are these. We have, let's see, an orange one, a gray one, and a cloud. So cloud cover, Timid Tiger, Daffodil Delight. Okay, so now I think we're ready to do our stamping and assembly. So let's do our stamping first. And I'm going to use the stamp positioner tool. And I want to show you a little trick. So when you have a shape that you are going to stamp on, sometimes it's a little hard to get the stamp exactly in the right spot. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our stamp positioner tool to help us. So we're going to put down first. So what I did is I ran just a little rectangle of white. I ran it through my die cut machine. So now I have the hole that it came out of and the shape I'm going to stamp on. And we're going to start by putting this down on our grid paper, like for a template. And I want to be able to do this over and over again. So I'm using the magnets to hold that in place. And I'm just going to mark my corners on my grid paper in case it moves. Okay, then we're going to take our stamp, which is here, and we're going to put it inside of the shape like that. And then we take our, I'm using the narrow tool that comes with the stamp positioner, and I've lined it up in the pegs, and I just pick it up. Now when I stamp, it should go exactly in that hole. So let's do a trial. I'm going to use Memento ink. So we'll line it up again with those 2 pegs and then stamp. Now I just stamped onto the background paper, but that looks great. Now I can take my cutout shapes and I can put them in here and ink it up again. Line it up, and voila, perfect. It's centered. It's great, great stamp, great stamped image. And if there was any problems with the stamp, with the image, I can ink it up and do it again. So let's do another one while we're here. And you can see if you were making a bunch of cards, this is a fantastic way to do a lot lined up and quickly. All right, we'll put that to the side. Now I want to do another stamp, and I'm gonna just leave that background image there, and if I ever want to come back, I can just line up my card again and I know right where to go. But for our next stamp, we're going to be using the Timid Tiger paper, and I might want to just line this up. Maybe I'll actually glue this down first. I should have glued this first, I think, because I want to stamp between two striped lines. So I'm going to put that down there. So I'm using one of these stripes just a little bit up from the bottom. And then what I want to do is I want to put my words, "Have the best day," and my little bird tracks going to the words kind of in a line above that. You could eyeball this and then put the stripe down later. And then, so I can leave my birds on the little platform, I'll use the bigger platform. Pick up my words. Well, pick up my stamps. Okay, not working. My stamps are sticking to the paper more than they are to the platform. I wonder why that is. I haven't had this problem before. There we go. I think maybe I should move this down. All right, so we have our words where we want them. Ink this up. Line it up again, and so it's going to be right where I want it. Press it down, and that's a great stamped image. All right, so that's all the stamping we need to do. Now I'm going to put my other stripe on, and you can see these are longer than the card base. So I'll just put glue most of the way, and then I will trim the edge. So I want that to be like that, kind of making a little frame for the words. See how cute that is? Hold the glue down for a hot second there. It does take just a moment for it to start to set. And then I'm just snip this off. Okay, move that out of the way. Now, let's see. Now I want to put this little pretty stripe that has a Timid Tiger background with kind of some little sun design on it. Glue that down. All right. And then next is going to go our nest. And I'm going to go just a little bit of an overlap on the patterned paper. I really love these swirled designs. They are very delicate though. but I think that's part of what makes them so interesting, is you have like these overlapping, in this case, ovals. It also has stars and diamond shape and circle in the dies, but I thought this one kind of looked like a nest, so that's why I'm using that. And it was exactly the right size to accent the birds that I wanted to put on here. Okay, so that's done. Now we're gonna put down one of our little birds. I'm just gonna glue that in the middle. And that's basically gonna be a template for us to add the cutout ones of the different colors. I think this is so cute. So one of my favorite songs is, it's called Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. And it says, don't worry about a thing. And I think that's a great reminder to just go with it. And don't worry about every little thing, because every little thing is gonna be all right. So now I'm gonna use some mini dimensionals, because I just need a tiny little piece of foam tape on the back of each of these birds. And my fingers are sticky. I think these birds are so cute. They definitely have a character. And it cuts out like a little slit in the wings, so I'm not gonna do much with that today, but you can like lift it up a little bit like that, just to give it a little bit more dimension. All right, so now we're gonna put these over the corresponding shapes. So see how it's like a little template of where to put the bird? And then you have the outline, you can see a little bit underneath it. And if you line it up just right, that little black dot of the eye will show through. There you go. Lift up the wing a little bit. And then we'll get cloud cover bird. I'm gonna lift up his wing a little. Line him up. And if I wasn't doing a color challenge where I'm trying to only use these 3 colors, I would take a little green marker and put in some of the grass probably. And I never would have put these 3 colors together, so this is a good challenge for me. There we go. That's very cute. See how there's so much dimension to the birds? So now we'll put this down on top of our gray layer and we'll get that centered. So remember, we just use this for the cutout, but no, that isn't gonna show because it's fully covered by the Timid Tiger layer, and it'll be sandwiched on top of the white card base. So that's a great way to you know, kind of stretch out your cardstock a little bit, make it not quite as bulky, and have exactly the color that matches. So that's exactly the color as the cardstock layer. And now I'm gonna layer this whole thing onto the front of the card. And we are gonna have a really adorable little 3 little birds card using these three colors from the challenge. I hope you like this, and I hope you have the best day. Be sure to post your own card if you make a card with these 3 colors and post the Global Design Project. Do the hashtag GDP541, and each week they pick a winner out of all the people all over the world that are making these cards. After sitting and looking at this for a bit, I decided I didn't really like the white background that I got when I used the cutout shape. So I'm going to make another one just slightly different. I also realized I totally forgot the bling. So we'll be adding some of these really pretty pearls. They're called 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls. They're really pretty and they are in the exact colors we're using. So this was the original. Now what we're going to do is stamp our 3 little birds directly onto the patterned paper and not use a cutout at all. And then I think that might look better, but let's see. So when you use the stamp positioner tool, you don't actually have to use the base. You can just put your stamp on the platform. I don't know what it's called. The little detachable piece. And you can, place it wherever you want and then press down. So this is great. I love this because you actually don't need any stamping blocks. I shouldn't say that, I have a ton of them, but I like this because you just take it with you and you have every size you could possibly need. So I think this is gonna actually give us a little bit of a better look because we won't have that white distraction. So I went ahead and did a little bit already. We still are gonna stamp our have the best day. And again, I'm not even gonna put this back into the platform. I'm just gonna use I don't know what to call these things. The plastic piece that you stick the stamp to. So you can see I have like a lot of ink on the edge of the acrylic, but because this is on springs, it's not gonna get on my surface or my paper because basically this plastic piece never touches the paper, just the stamp does. So see how I stamped, but there's no black lines up there where I had black here. Not sure if you could see that or not. All right, so see how quick those are to use for stamping? Now we're just gonna assemble, doing most of it the same as the original card. I have my cloud cover piece. I cut the little nest shape out of it. I'm gonna glue my timid tiger over it. This time I'm going to do it on the glass mat because I'm gonna get some glue where that hole is. And I don't want my white card to stick to that like it did the first time. I have another card base. I did the same thing. I cut the yellow strips and glued those down and then snipped the ends off. I'm gonna glue this whole base to the front of the card. All right, very nice. I do like the cloud cover as the frame for the Timid Tiger and the Daffodil Delight. And now we're gonna put the patterned piece down that has our stamped image. And I think I'm doing it a little bit different location wise. So the original one, I had the pattern paper right on top of the stripe. But now I'm gonna go higher because this is really our focal point. And then I can put the nest right around it. I think that looks cute. Put some dots of glue on the back of the nest. All right, I'm liking it, I'm liking it. And now, I have my little birdies. I already put a little piece of mini dimensional on the back. Lift up the wing a little bit. Yes, I think I like this a lot better. So when you make a card, don't be afraid to remake it. Try different things, mix it up. The first card's beautiful. I will give it to someone, but I like this one even a little bit better. And for the finishing touch, let's add some bling. So I think if we use the yellow, this will be very nice. Because yellow is kind of our accent color on the card. This could be a slightly different yellow than our paper. Not sure. I'm gonna have to double check that. It does not tell me the color. I feel like this might be Darling Duckling and our yellow is Daffodil Delight, but it's very, very close. So there we have it. I do think I like this one better without that extra white border. Great combination of colors. Let me know if you make a card with these colors and post it with hashtag GDP541.